The boxers have been given their instructions. The seconds are out. The crowd is ready for another edition of Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing with your presenter, the boxing historian, Greg Rashid.
Say Swati Cup to everyone out there. This is Greg Rashid with another edition of the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. For so many people, it's heard at their convenience on so many platforms on the web, be it on YouTube, iHeart, Apple, you name it. But a lot of folks listen on Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time in Colorado on KUHSdenver.com, created by Henry Archuleta. I want to say hi to all my friends in the Colorado region. And I want, since I'm taping the show on the 14th of September, I want to say a special happy Mexican Independence Day to those folks who celebrate that in the region. And we're going to have a special show today around Independence Day in a sense. But before we do that, I want to do a little housekeeping chores here and just remind you, if you haven't become one yet, please, as James Brown would say, please consider becoming a Patreon. You can go to my Patreon site, patreon.com, look for Ringside Fantasy Fights in News. Again, Ringside Fantasy Fights in News. And become a member, as my first Patreon did, our Red Sox fan, who has a great YouTube site. So check that out. Check it out. But, all you can contribute is, if you can do just $1 a month, anything, so we can get a better microphone, better equipment, and give you the best possible program possible about boxing. Because we do boxing history on here, we do simulated fights, but also we do music. And we always call this a boxing variety show. I hope you enjoy the music we'll have later on in the program, but we do simulated fights. And before we do that, we're going to do right now a little bit of boxing history. We have a new person here today, and this is Jessica, and she's going to give you some boxing history for the week of September 15th through the 21st on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Here is boxing history for the week of September 15th through 21. September 15th, 1978. Muhammad Ali made history by becoming the first boxer to be world heavyweight champion 3 times. September 16, 2017, Gennady Golovkin fought Canelo Alvarez, which ended in a controversial draw. September 17, 1934, Jimmy McLarnin recovered the world welterweight title over Barney Ross. September 18, 1999, Felix Trinidad defeated Oscar De La Hoya by a close controversial majority decision. September 19, 2009, Floyd Mayweather Jr. defeated Juan Manuel Marquez in a comeback after retiring 21 months earlier. September 20th, 1972. Muhammad Ali beat Floyd Patterson by a knockout in round 7 of their rematch. September 21st, 1985. Michael Spinks made history by becoming the first boxer to go from world light heavyweight champion to world heavyweight champion, defeating IBF champion Larry Holmes.
A very controversial win there by Spinks, because if you've seen that fight, and also the second fight, and you can look at it on YouTube to check it out, I really think Holmes won both those fights. And the thing is, what Holmes did, he made a big mistake. And prior to the fight, during the press conferences, because at the time, Holmes was approaching Rocky Marciano's record as far as undefeated heavyweight champion. He was getting up to 49, and he was going to tie Marciano. And he said at the press conference, Rocky Marciano couldn't tie his jockey strap. And when he said that, I knew the powers that be, there was no way, I repeat, no way, that Holmes was going to win that fight. And that's what happened. You can't deal with that. You can't deal with the powers that be in boxing and get away with it. So he lost that fight. And it's an example of a fight where you're the champion, but the challenger doesn't really beat the champion, just barely makes it. And actually, like I said, I think Holmes won that fight and won the second fight too. And there are two other fights that were mentioned on this, what Jessica was talking about. The first Golovkin versus Canelo fight. I think that actually Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, he won that fight. But as has been shown after the fact, Canelo is the money man, so they gave it to him. Actually gave him the draw in the next two fights. He won those. And then the other fight that was mentioned that I really think was really controversial was the Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad fight. That you saw for 10 rounds that Oscar just beat Trinidad. But the last 2 rounds, Oscar decided to run and not really box. And because of that, they gave the fight to Trinidad. But if you look at that fight, you'll see that Oscar really won that fight. He only lost, 2, maybe 3 rounds out of the 12-round fight. So he won it. But again, he didn't do what the powers that be wanted him to do. So he didn't fight the whole 12 rounds. But that's boxing. That's boxing. And Jessica now is going to talk about some more boxing news that's going on in the world right now. So take it away, Jessica.
Boxing legend Erik Butterbean Esch is eyeing one final bank balance boosting fight against either Mike Tyson or Jake Paul. With Tyson and Paul's rescheduled bout set for November 15th after an initial postponement from July, Butterbean is pitching himself as a worthy alternative to step into the ring with either star. The King of the Four Rounders made his intentions clear in August when he issued his latest challenge to the pair via social media. He posted a TikTok video showcasing his training captioned, "Getting ready for my next opponent. I hope you're ready at Jake Paul at Netflix at Mike Tyson." A clash with either Tyson or Paul would undoubtedly be the most lucrative event of Butterbean's career. Despite retiring over 10 years ago, the knockout artist isn't short on cash. Celebrity Net Worth estimates Butterbean's wealth sits at a cool $500,000. While this may not rival the fortunes of Tyson or Paul, it's a testament to the enduring appeal and savvy business acumen of the cult boxing figure. With a daunting boxing record of 77 wins, 10 losses, and 4 draws, including 58 knockout wins, Edge has also made his mark in kickboxing and mixed martial arts. He reached the semifinals of the K1 World Grand Prix at the height of his kickboxing career, while his MMA record stands at October 1st, 17, boasting more submission victories, 9, than knockout wins, 8. Austin Trout wants to run it back with Canelo Alvarez without the gloves. The New Mexico puncher was handed the first defeat of his professional boxing career by Canelo in 2013. At the time, Trout was the WBA regular little middleweight champion and was coming in fresh off a win against Miguel Cotto. However, he was unable to get the better of Canelo, who dropped and out-hustled Trout over the distance of a competitive and exciting 12-round scrap. In the years that followed, Trout fell short in world title fights against Jermall Charlo, Jarrett Hurd, and Jermell Charlo before transitioning to bare-knuckle boxing last year. He took to the brutal sport like a duck to water, stopping UFC legend Diego Sanchez inside 4 rounds in his debut with Conor McGregor co-owned BKFC before picking up the company's welterweight strap by outclassing Luis Palomino in February. Now he is out to exact his revenge on everyone who beat him in pro boxing, especially Canelo. Asked which former foes he'd like to welcome to bare-knuckle boxing, Trout told TalkSport.com, "All of them, everybody I took a loss to. I want to fight in the bare-knuckle ring. That means Canelo, Jermall Charlo, Erislandy Lara, the other Charlo, Jermell, Jarrett Hurd. Every one of those cats I would love to fight in the bare-knuckle ring. It's different. Canelo, if you want that rematch, let's run it, or anyone else that has a high-profile name. Danny Garcia is another one I've been calling out for a while. I'd love to get one of those fights. Canelo is set to defend his WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga on Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The 34-year-old still has plenty of big fights left for him in boxing, but if he eventually chooses to ditch the gloves, Trout thinks his skill set would transfer well. I do think he'd do well in bare knuckle. He's not one of those guys that has hand problems, he added. I mean, he hits hard enough. He's explosive without having to turn his whole body, so that protects his hands. I think he would do fine. He is a student of the game, so he would learn the type of standing grappling that's needed to be able to box, so I'm sure he'd figure that out. Trout returns to action on October 12th in the co-main event of BKFC Spain against one of Britain's finest bare-knuckle boxers, Ricardo Franco. The Englishman holds an impressive victory over bare-knuckle icon Jimmy Sweeney and is a former BKB super middleweight world champion. A vacant lightweight title clash between Franco Tenaglia and Tony Soto headlines the card, while former WBA super welterweight champion Hannah Rankin is set to make her BKFC debut further down the bill. Bare-knuckle boxing is best described by its many contradictions. It has been touted as the world's fastest-growing combat sport and, simultaneously, an ancient practice whose origins have been lost to prehistory. It is bloody, yet arguably less harmful for the brain than its gloved counterpart. In terms of fan numbers, it remains a relative minnow in the world of professional sports, but is nevertheless doing impressive box office numbers in the US, UK, and elsewhere. It's humane enough to be mainstream, but it's borderline brutal, says David Feldman, founder and president of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC. Bare knuckle boxing is exactly what it sounds like. Two fighters enter a ring without gloves and, over a series of 2-minute rounds, attempt to punch the other athlete into unconsciousness. Winners in fights that don't end in knockouts are decided by judges. Most fighters do wear cloth wraps around the wrist and thumb to reduce the risk of injuring their own hands, but their fists, striking surfaces, their knuckles, remain completely free of protection. It makes for compelling spectator sport. Although a 2021 study found lacerations, particularly facial lacerations, to be more prevalent in bare-knuckle boxing, it also determined that only 2.8% of fighters studied experienced concussions with symptoms. In gloved boxing, that number can reach as high as 12.3%. It is certainly tempting to take this information with a grain of salt. After all, the 2021 study's lead author, Dr. Don Muzzi, is also the BKFC's chief medical officer. Experts unaffiliated with bare-knuckle boxing, however, claim that the study's conclusions are sound. Dr. Nicole Reams, an Illinois-based neurologist who serves as the medical al-Sarkar chair for the U.S. Intercollegiate Boxing Association, a gloved boxing organization, as well as an independent neurological consultant for the NFL's Chicago Bears, has stated the study's claims are reasonable. She also notes that data comparing actual impacts between gloved and bare-knuckled matches, i.e. the number of strikes to the head a boxer receives in a given fight, would help clarify the matter further. Given bare-knuckled boxing's relative novelty, the number of peer-reviewed studies remains low. In reviewing the 2021 study, Reams specifically draws attention to the reduced fight times in bare-knuckle boxing as a potential reason for the sport's reduced concussion rate. BKFC matches consist of 5 2-minute rounds. For comparison, championship bouts in men's professional, gloved boxing are typically scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds, meaning that BKFC fighters are exposed to their opponent's fists for less than 1/3 the time as gloved boxers. UFC president and CEO Dana White will kick off his maiden voyage with combat sports power broker Turki Al-Sheikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority in Saudi Arabia, during UFC 306 on Mexican Independence Day weekend on Saturday. The $20 million production and event is being billed as Riyadh Season Noche UFC, and it marks the first-ever live sporting event staged at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The event has been labeled as a love letter to Mexico. UFC 306 will go head-to-head against Canelo Alvarez's fight against Edgar Berlanga across the street on the Strip at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Although Alal Sheikh has insisted that UFC 306 will trump Alvarez's show on Saturday night, White said the power broker still has good intentions for the sweet science. When you look at what Turki Alal Sheikh has done, it took Saudi Arabian money to make fights you never thought would be made, White told Boxing Scene. This is the first guy that is reinvesting back into the sport of boxing. Everybody else takes. It's like a going out of business sale every time they put on an event. Let's grab as much money as we can and run. He's actually reinvesting in the sport. And I find it interesting. Alal Sheikh will continue investing in MMA. Riyadh has already hosted a UFC show in June and is planning for another major card in the coming months. But would White plan to be involved in Alal Sheikh's boxing projects moving forward through his long-planned and since rebranded boxing outfit, TK Oyo Boxing? There is nothing done with his company, said White, days after alluding that anything was possible regarding helping Alal Sheikh with his recently proposed Saudi-backed boxing league. We're doing some UFC and power slap events out there.
Power slaps. Yeah, we got to find out more about that. But anyway, thank you, Jessica, for those reports about what's going on in the world of boxing. And for some of you, you'll probably know, because I don't know the results because I'm doing this on Saturday evening, which would be Friday morning in the U.S., where the UFC and also the Canelo Berlanga fight are taking place. That'll be a little later for you folks, but for me it'll be early. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But anyway, I don't know the results of the fights yet, but I think as far as Canelo and Berlanga, Berlanga's doing a lot of talking. He's saying a lot of things, but the fact of the matter is Canelo is going to destroy him. He's going to beat him and beat him bad. I think it'll be a knockout in the 8th round. But what do you think? What do you think will happen at that? And I want to backtrack a little bit because this whole thing about bare knuckle fighting, it is a growing sport. And I can't say I'm into it. I've looked at a couple of fights, but over here in Bangkok, I've been to a number of Muay Thai fights, and there was one I went to a couple of years ago. I don't know the exact name of what they call it, but it was two women, and they have the special fight where they put straw that has been just bound to their fists, and they fight. And it was the most brutal thing I've ever seen. It's something they rarely do over here because they usually use gloves and all, but there was a special event and something that goes back, eons as far as Muay Thai fighting. And I wish I could remember the name of what they call it, but they had two women doing this. And the minute each woman hit each other, their faces just blew up. I mean, it was just horrible. It was just hard to deal with. I had to get out of there. And I look at all these sports, combat sports, but that was a little too much. And from what I know, they haven't done one of those type of fights around here in ages. Maybe in some of the villages outside of Bangkok, way up north or something in Thailand, they may be doing that. But as far as in Bangkok itself, I haven't seen it since then. But anyway, we're going to get to the main event right now on the program. It's going to be in the junior welterweight division. It's going to be Julio Cesar Chávez versus Erik Morales, two classic, all-time great Mexican fighters on Mexican Independence Day. And this is going to be simulated by Title Bout PC2, created by Jim Trunza. Great game. Check it out. But like I always say, I can do this fight. I could do it 1,000 times, and it would always come out differently. But this is all about just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying the simulated fight. So let's listen to this fight. Now, we have a new reporter. Knockout Nigel still cannot come to the U.S., and this fight is in Mexico. He can't come. He can't leave Britain. So we have a friend of his, Rockin' Rodney from Britain. So let's hear him give the commentary of the fight between Chávez and Morales on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rocking Rodney, your humble announcer, coming to you live from the legendary Azteca Stadium in Mexico City on this glorious Mexican Independence Day. Tonight we have a scintillating matchup between two titans of the ring, Julio, Cesar, Chávez and Erik Morales. Chávez, the pride of Culiacan, known for his relentless pressure and granite chin, boasts an illustrious career with a record that strikes fear into the hearts of his opponents. Erik El Terrible Morales, hailing from Tijuana, is renowned for his fierce warrior spirit and technical prowess, a man who never shies away from a slugfest. Both fighters are champions in their own right, with legacies cemented in boxing history. And now, without further ado, let's get ready for the main event. Round 1. The fighters meet at center ring, exchanging intense glares. Morales initiates with a missed left uppercut, but Chávez capitalizes immediately with a solid 4-point right cross that catches Morales off guard. Chávez follows up with a thunderous 5-point left hook, leaving Morales stunned. The momentum is entirely with Chávez as he lands a 3-point right uppercut and another 5-point left hook. Morales is sent reeling into the near ropes, visibly shaken and suffering a cut inside his mouth. Chávez doesn't let up, landing a powerful left cross for 5 points that buckles Morales' knees. Chávez continues with a 5-point right uppercut, leaving Morales glassy-eyed. Morales manages a 2-point left hook, but Chávez responds with a quick 3-point left uppercut just as the bell rings. A dominant round for Chávez. Round 1 points. Scored, Chávez 30 Morales, 6 round 2. Round 2 begins and Chávez maintains his aggressive approach with a 3-point right cross and a devastating 5-point left uppercut, sending Morales stumbling into the neutral corner. Chávez misses with a left jab and a right uppercut, giving Morales an opening. Morales counters with a sharp 2-point combination and a precise 2-point left jab. The fighters are now toe-to-toe exchanging blows. Chávez lands a 3-point right hook, but Morales answers back with a 3-point left hook and a swift 3-point combination. The round ends with both fighters showing resilience and determination. Round 2 points scored, Chávez 13 Morales, 14 round 3. Morales starts the third round aggressively but misses with a right uppercut. Chávez quickly counters with a 2-point left cross. The fighters are at ring center and Morales opts to clinch, trying to slow Chávez's momentum. Chávez misses a right uppercut, giving Morales a chance to land a stunning 5-point left hook that momentarily halts Chávez's advance. Morales follows up with a 2-point left jab, but Chávez remains mobile, looking to establish his position. Chávez is admonished for a low blow, then lands a 3-point jab. The round ends with Morales showing some signs of life. Round 3 points. Scored, Chávez 5 Morales, 7 round 4. Chávez starts round 4 with a partially blocked right cross for 1 point. Morales clinches, but Chávez breaks free and scores a solid 4-point right hook to the gut, a clean shot that resonates with the crowd. Chávez lands a 3-point left cross, followed by a 3-point left hook. Morales struggles to respond, landing a 2-point combination. Chávez clinches momentarily, then lands a 5-point right uppercut, leaving Morales dazed. Chávez misses a left hook, but Morales fails to capitalize, missing with a right uppercut. Chávez counters with a 3-point combination, then lands a crushing 5-point left hook, sending Morales reeling into the ropes as the bell sounds. Round 4 points. Scored, Chávez 24 Morales, 2 round 5. Morales comes out swinging in round 5, landing a 3-point right cross, a 2-point left uppercut, and a 5-point right cross in quick succession. Chávez staggers back but quickly regroups, responding with a 4-point combination. Morales lands a 2-point right cross, then clinches to avoid further damage. Chávez misses a right cross, but Morales maintains the pressure, landing a 3-point right cross just before the bell, snapping Chávez's head back. Round 5 points scored, Chávez 8, Morales 15 round 6. Chávez starts round 6 with a 3-point left hook, but misses with a right hook and left cross. Morales counters with a 3-point hook. Chávez lands a 4-point cross, followed by a 2-point left hook and a 5-point right cross that visibly affects Morales. Chávez is relentless, landing a 3-point left uppercut and another 5-point right cross, sending Morales into the ropes above the media table. Morales manages to counter with a 2-point left hook, but Chávez remains in control, ending the round on a high note. Round 6 points. Scored, Chávez 22, Morales 5. Morales misses with a left uppercut to start round 7, but lands a 5-point left hook that buckles Chávez's knees. Chávez counters with a 3-point left cross and a 3-point combination to the body and head. Chávez is moving around the ring trying to establish his position. He pins Morales on the near ropes, landing a 3-point hook and a 4-point left cross. Chávez then delivers a crushing left hook that knocks Morales down. Morales gets back to his feet at the count of 5, but Chávez throws a 5-point combination. Morales is helpless on the ropes and the referee steps in. Referee Russell Mora calls a halt to this fight at the time of 2:33 of round 7. The winner by technical knockout is Julio Cesar Chávez. What a performance on this historic night. And remember, folks, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. This is Rocking Rodney signing off with a tip of the hat and a wink. Good night, and keep those gloves up.
Well, Rodney's a very smooth, announcer. There's no bubbly, there's nothing like that. It's very smooth. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that fight between Chávez and Morales. I think that, I can envision that. I can actually envision that happening because Chávez was tough. And I don't think Morales, once he went up in weight, when he was in the lower classes, when he was like, bantamweight, featherweight, but as he came up and got to junior welterweight, I don't think he could handle the likes of a Cesar Chávez. I don't think he could. He could beat his son, Chávez Jr., but I don't think he could beat, Senior. But what do you think? What do you think about that? And also, what do you think about the fact that, who is your pick? And let me know, wherever you listen to the program, just drop me a line, as so many people do, and making comments, about positive comments. So just give me just good feelings about the program. Who do you think is the greatest Mexican fighter of all time? Is it Julio? Is it Barrera, Morales? So many guys. Is it Canelo? Do you think Canelo right now is the greatest Mexican fighter? Let me know. In fact, I'm going to put that poll on my YouTube channel. And just want to get you folks out there to, just to vote for that. Just to see who you think is the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. But I want to thank so many of you just for tuning in right now. We're not done. We're going to be switching the music right now. And I'm going to start off with Silver Waves. And this is by Track Tribe on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. And that was Tribe Track, and that was Silver Waves on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. And that was kind of mellow. Usually I start off with something hard because, I'm thinking about what happened earlier this week. We lost a number of giants. James Earl Jones, one of the all-time greats as far as acting, and just amazing person, individual. And also lost, some of you who listen to my program, and I know a lot of folks in Denver who listen to this program, they know who I'm talking about when I'll say Frankie Beverly, one of the all-time greats as far as soul singers. Frankie Beverly or Frankie Beverly and Mays. His act was the last act I saw musical act I saw in Denver before I came over here to Thailand. So I'm going to do a tribute, and I know these songs will probably be blanked out on some parts of YouTube, but I got to do a tribute to Frankie Beverly because these were my favorites, and I got to do this. And I'm going to start it off with the classic. All the songs are classic, but I think I'm going to do first Joy and Pain on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
They're both one. There was a man I knew who was smooth as smooth can be. His music, his smile, and his sweet, sweet melody. Do you recall that mentor and the voice with the velvet touch? I never forget how he moved us all so much. Do you remember that special one, very special one? I do remember how much he's done, how much the man has done, and I can still hear his wisdom. Yeah. Silky, silky soul singer. Silky, silky soul singer. Silky, silky soul singer. A silky, silky soul. All right. The man was smooth as silk as he danced across the floor. That rhythm, that style made you want to see much more. And most of all, was inside was a heart as pure as gold. I do believe that magic lives and never can grow old. Right. silky soul singer. Silky, silky soul singer. A silky, silky soul. Silky, silky soul singer. Silky soul singer. Silky, silky soul singer. I remember Brother Marvin. He was singing, he was moving, yeah. I remember Brother Marvin. He was singing, moving, singing. Yes, I do. Silky soul singing for you. Silky, silky soul singing, my friend, my friend. There's a time of the day when the sun's going down. That's the golden time of day. It's a time that the sun turns to gold all around. That's the golden time of day. At the end of the day, when the wind is soft and warm, ooh, Lord, it makes the flowers sway. When the sun settles down and it takes a lovely form, that's the golden time of day. People, let me tell you that the time in your life when you find who you are, that's the golden time of day. And in your mind you will find you're a bright shining star. That's the golden time of day. Ooh, that's the golden time of day. Oh, that's the golden time of day. Can't you see it shining? Ooh, shine, children, shine. Can't you see it shining? Let your love light shine. Can't you see it shining? Feel it, feel it, shining. Can't you see it shining? Shine if you believe in love. Look above and give your heart. Yeah, yeah. Shine. Can't you see it shining? If you believe in love, shine. Can't you see it shining? Shine your love. Shine your love. Shine your love.
All right. The one and only, the legendary, the late, great, one and only Frankie Beverly and his group Maze, and that was the golden time of day. And before that, we did Silky Soul, and we started to set off with Joy and Pain. Hope you enjoyed it. And I could do a whole year of just Frankie Beverly music on this show. I may do that. No, I won't do it. I could, because I like me some Frankie Beverly. And as good as those songs are on record, on CD, he was much better in person. Amazing group. Frankie Beverly and Maze. And some of you who may not be familiar with him, check him out. Check out his music. Explore and just learn this. I know it's all on Spotify, all over the place. You can find his music. iTunes, look for it and learn something, because he was a smooth. That was an amazing group. But anyway, and like I said, that was the last musical act I saw in Denver before I left Denver, and that's that was 2012, and I just just happy to be there. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the music, as well as the boxing sim we did today with Julio Cesar Chávez versus Erik Morales on Mexican Independence Day, and also the boxing history it gave you and all that. But again, we got to get out of here right now, because it's always a golden time of day on this program. Hope you're having one wherever you are in the universe listening to this program. So go in love and go in peace, and do what you can to help someone in your community. And when you get up in the morning, get up, look in that mirror, hug yourself, and say, I love myself. And if you're sight impaired, get up, hug yourself, and say, I love myself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't do anything, because you don't love yourself, because you don't love anyone else. So love yourself. Do what you can to help someone in your community, be it a young person, an animal in need, senior citizen, whatever you can do. Clean up your neighborhood. Just the small little things that add up, because we're all on the sphere together. We can have different opinions on things, different opinions on boxers, you name it. But we all are here together, so do what you can. There are so many wars and rumors of wars out there. We just got to do what we can in our little bit to make things positive wherever we are in this universe. Now, I know it sounds simple, but simple things lead to bigger things. So again, this is Greg Rashid, live in Bangkok. Go in love and go in peace. And we'll see you next time on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks, and have a great day.